I have to keep facing the darkness. If I stand tall and face the thing I fear, I have a chance to conquer it. But if I just keep dodging and hiding, it will conquer me. You have to face the suffering, you have to embrace it, you have to face up to it in order to have a chance of being able to defeat it. Whereas if you run from it, it's going to catch up with you and it's going to engulf you.
Acting today to make the future better and make yourself stronger in the future, because otherwise that darkness will grow if left unattended.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing to realize. If you're going through a mental health battle, if you're struggling with something in life, it doesn't matter what it is. The point is, it's not going to go away on its own. Especially mental health issues, they don't just disappear. You don't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm not depressed anymore, or I don't feel anxious today, or whatever it might be. It's like you have to do something about that. And that's tough, man. That's really tough. Like embracing that and saying to yourself, I'm going to do something about this right now, and not sort of just hoping somebody else will come along and fix it, or hoping it's just going to go away on its own. You have to make the decision in yourself to say, I am going to do something about this.
Yep.
And I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to do this. I don't have the tools to do this. I don't have the knowledge to know that it's even possible. But I'm going to give it my best shot. And because that's your only option, really. If you keep running from the darkness, if you keep trying to hide from it, it's only going to get bigger and it's only going to engulf you and swallow you up anyway. So the only option you have is to stand and fight with whatever you have.
If we got to face something today, then that may be a challenge, but it's going to be easier today, because if we don't get stronger today, it's going to get stronger tomorrow, and it's going to be even harder to climb over that. And that's really how we end up in a downward spiral, because we leave things unattended, and then they actually become in our brain so much bigger than what they are, and become such an impossible task to overcome.
A lot of people are running from their struggles, which is not necessarily the suffering. The struggle is pushing back against their suffering. Running from it is not really a struggle. I mean, it's suffering, but the struggle is when you say, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to push back against this darkness, against this demon, whatever it might be. There's a lack of struggle, a lack of people pushing back against that. And what that's doing is, it's making the suffering worse. It's making the fact that we're letting the suffering run loose and not caging it, not doing anything about it, means that it's growing. It's getting stronger. It's affecting more people. It's spreading like a virus does, or something like that. So I think, one of the key points there was that we need to sort of take on some of that suffering. We need to take on some of the responsibility for the struggles of the life or the mental health, or whatever it is that you're dealing with. It's up to you to take on a little portion of that, and not to overwhelm yourself with that, but just to take on something, and try and make the world not even better, but just slightly less bad. And the way that you can do that is by just turning and facing the suffering and the darkness a little bit occasionally. Just sort of saying like, hey, this is not cool. We're going to try and do something about this.
It's okay to get help, because the fact that you're sitting there staring into this darkness, it's such a big, overwhelming thing to fight against. It's like, hang on, I don't think I'm strong enough to face this. I'm going to rally a bit of an army, and they're going to give me a push. If you were able to fight it yourself, then you probably wouldn't have that mental health battle in the first place, because you're like, okay, I'm strong, I can do this, no worries. But
that's it.
Being able to be vulnerable to the people around you and opening yourself up.
There's nothing wrong with that. Reaching out to people for a bit of help, or advice, or just to help you get motivated enough to face the battle. There's definitely nothing wrong with reaching out to people. In fact, it's encouraged, and it really helps you.
Yeah.
And certainly it helps you realize that you're actually going to make the decision to face it. By reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, look, I've got this problem, I'm dealing with this thing. It's like, that is almost the first step in saying, like, it's an actual problem that I want to do something about.
Yeah.
And that is like, it's only a small first step, but it's a massive step in terms of turning your life around, turning the ship. Like, we're going to not just keep running from it, but we're going to stop, we're going to turn, we're going to face it and see what the hell we're dealing with here. I think that's really, really important and powerful. So definitely encourage reaching out to people if you're going through anything like that.
Yeah,
for sure.